All right, let's talk about Barry Morphew. I'm going to take notes here. I'll do a little T-chart. Did Barry Morphew kill Suzanne Morphew? What do we know and what don't we know? So let's draw up some pros and cons and then just kind of, let's see, Barry did do it, did not. Okay, so the BAM evidence, right? BAM tranquilizer. Did he have the tranquilizer? He got in Indiana 2018. She gets killed in 2020. It's not a far stretch to think that he might have saved some. BAM itself is illegal. He was prescribed it, but he used it illegally to shoot the deer and then cut the fucking antlers off the deer. That's what he wanted to do. And so he killed a whole bunch of fucking deer with this BAM tranquilizer. She had BAM tranquilizer in her body. Her remains had BAM tranquilizer in it. How's that possible? The only people that have BAM tranquilizer, they said, was Barry in the region, wildlife. Colorado Wildlife Department, they have BAM as well. Nobody broke into, that I know of, stealing any of the stuff. So either some state employee from Colorado Wildlife Department had something to do with it. 80%. So with the BAM tranquilizer, they didn't find any BAM darts or tranquilizer gun or shit inside his home, but they did find a cap, like a needle cap. And they're saying that the needle cap, it was in the lint trap of the dryer, and the needle cap, they said, was a cap to the tranquilizer dart. So that needle cap, he had his shorts in the dryer, was drying, and the needle cap was inside the lint trap. So that could be, evidence of BAM. If it's not BAM, what the hell do you have a needle cap for? 80% of spousal murders are done by the spouse. So 80% of husbands or wives who are killed, their spouse did it. So 80%, the statistics are against him. 1%, less than 1% chance that a random person did it. Now, I'll start off where I'll mention that there's no murder weapon. There's no photographs, videotape, no eyewitness accounts. Nobody saw him shoot her, attack her. There's no smoking gun. There's no confession, no DNA on the weapon. No video, so there's nothing that specifically shows him killing Suzanne Morphew. So it's a lot of corroborative evidence, a lot of circumstantial evidence, but each piece of evidence adds up to, it was him. Barry Morphew was the last one to see her alive. So the day before, apparently they had a decent night. They went to bed early, 8 o'clock or some shit, and then he wakes up, leaves the house at 5 in the morning, and he said that she was still asleep. He had to do some landscaping job. I don't know if it's Buena Vista or something up at Broomfield up in Denver or some shit. His landscaping job is interesting because he says there's a job. His helper goes all the way up there, and then he says, "Oh, I don't need you," and then sends him back. So it's very weird. Barry Morphew was the last one to see her alive. Barry, last to see that we know of. So less than 1% chance that it was a total random, which it could be if you think of the Mickey Blue case. Mickey Blue, this is the principal, right? Joe Bryan and Mickey Blue. Texas principal. He was married to his sweetheart. I don't know if they're high school or middle school or some shit, but they met early, married in their 20s. She was a teacher, he was a principal. And he was 130 miles away. She gets fucking murdered, right? She gets raped and then blown the fuck away, like with a shotgun or some shit, or with a 38 special, or what's Dirty Harry's gun? 356 Magnum. So she gets blown away. He was 130 miles away. He's sad. He's like, what the are you kidding me? He's just in disbelief. He doesn't understand what's going on. And it turned out it was Joe Dunlap, a cop. A cop had murdered Mickey Blue. Mickey Blue was murdered by a cop, Joe Dunlap. He gets to keep his badge. He's sitting there sullying the investigation. He's messing with the evidence. And then he did a bunch of weird shit that they told him to just quietly leave. He quietly quits and then gets another job down the road at another police department. He's bragging that he was with Suzanne. No, not Suzanne. Mickey Blue when she had got raped. And he also had some newspaper clippings or something of the young woman who got killed just 3 months prior, about a mile away. So there's 2 rape murders that happened right around where Mickey Blue had got raped and murdered. And they're just going to point to the husband, Joe Bryan, and then he's going to serve 33 years in prison, and then he's going to get out because of, the Innocence Project. He lived for another 5 years, and then he died. He had 5 years of freedom. So the wife was murdered, so then the system murdered the husband. And that's bullshit. So it's important that we get the objective truth, because objective justice stands upon the objective truth. A thing either did or did not happen. Either Barry Morphew did kill Suzanne or he did not. Too many people want to chase headlines and clicks instead of getting to the objective truth so we can get objective justice. I'm sick of watching guilty rich motherfuckers get away with shit, and a bunch of poor, innocent people getting nicked for either dumb, petty shit or shit that they didn't even do. I'd like to see more Frank Serpico's 1970s New York PD legend, or Willis Russell, or Mad Frank Phillips, who arrested all the Hatfields, the deputy sheriff, 1888, who gathered himself a posse as a deputy sheriff and arrested all them fucking stupid-ass, shitty-ass, fucking dumb-ass Hatfields. Fuck a fucking Hatfield, man. Good old McCoys, the good old Christian McCoy. Somebody had to stand up to them goddamn Hatfield motherfuckers. All right, so evidence 4, okay? So evidence against, no video, no eyewitness, no DNA, no murder weapon, no smoking gun. So the BAM evidence, I think, is fantastic because logic gets you there. Logic gets you there. If only one person in the entire state of Colorado has BAM tranquilizer, and the person has BAM tranquilizer in their system, that's the motherfucker that did it. That's the motherfucker that did it. How else could the BAM tranquilizer have got into her blood? She shot herself? Somebody else got into his BAM tranquilizer fucking collection? There's a 20% chance, 19% chance that it's somebody that we do know. So Jeff Libler, if I was the defense, I would try to paint up Jeff Libler as the fucking guilty party. If you don't find the real killer, or at least suggest, point to a different area of who the real killer could have possibly have been. There's an April 2024 autopsy that said she was killed by unspecified means. She was dropped 50 miles away from their home in Saguache County. So that's where they found her body. In 2022, they dropped the case for prosecutorial misconduct, which is interesting, right? Rich man fucking pays a fucking shiesty lawyer, and we're going to go with a bunch of technicalities. So that's ultimately the question, I feel like, for the judicial system of Colorado. If you're an innocent person and you don't have a lawyer, do you get fucked? But if you're totally guilty and you killed your wife but you get a lawyer, do you just get to walk free? 50 miles in Saguache, he did do it because that's within an hour's drive. And they said that her body was moved twice. There was something about Suzanne chased a chipmunk on her bike that morning. She chased a chipmunk. He was going around shooting chipmunks in the house. The diary said that she was terrified of Barry, but I've never heard of her him assaulting her or ever attacking her of anything. So I'm just real scared. He is twice her size. So let's see. The statistics, less than 1% chance that a random person killed Suzanne because of her age. She's 54, 50 something.